The time to overcome evil is now. It is time to quit being abused by these agents of the cabal and their program of enslavement. And it begins with your consciousness. To free your soul, you must free your mental activity. And once that is achieved, your heart must be stirred with courage, with passion. And the marriage of passion and intellect must transcend this third dimension and all the evil that is produced from it in its absolutes. In Romans chapter 12, verse 21, it says, "Be not overcome of evil, but overcome evil with good." Now granted, I have some dramatic music playing and I'm trying to use a dramatic voice. I have a symbol of Mithraic, from the Raised by Wolves series, which essentially, in my reckoning, is exemplary as a depiction of the struggle between the organic consciousness versus the artificial intelligence, digital matrix, hive mind modality, transhumanist agenda. And that is essentially how, in third dimension terms, using the absolutes of the third dimension, we can understand the struggle, the particular juncture of space-time where we are. Now, as we rise in understanding and frequency within our dimensional vibration, we can understand and experience a more divine combination of organics and technology. But on this current timeline, in the current third dimensional vibration, it is a struggle, a very real struggle of good against evil. It seems most of our population, most of the people, everyone's caught up and they care about themselves. They're in survival mentality. You know, their material possessions, they're getting in their underground bunkers or being distracted with entertainment, and that's all by design. But nobody seems to care about the future for our children and grandchildren. Everyone is just trying to live out comfortably until it is their time to die. Why? Why is that? Well, that's how the controllers continue to control, by keeping everyone distracted, separated, and in a perpetual existence of struggle. But evil can always be defeated by good people uniting and doing what is right. It's my contention that doing the right thing is hitting that subscribe button, because history has shown this time and time again that when good people unite, when good people hit the subscribe button and doing what is right, evil cannot stand up to courageous and righteous individuals who are willing to sacrifice everything for those they love. There is nothing more precious than securing liberty for those that we love, for the future of the human race, for the future of organic consciousness. So it is vitally important that we must begin to do the inner work to engage in the path of light alchemy and seek the guidance, seek the marriage or the connection with Source, with infinite intelligence. There's a reason why it's called infinite intelligence. There's a reason why over and over again all of these geniuses, to include Nikola Tesla, Albert Einstein, the lady who wrote all those Harry Potter books, they talk about being in that twilight zone of consciousness, in the theta brainwave states of 2 hertz, between 2 hertz and 4 hertz, or somewhere in that range, 6 hertz, 8 hertz, but theta wave range. And just having these, we're in that in-between stage of being in deep sleep and coming to wakefulness, right in there in that magic twilight zone. All of a sudden, these ideas, as if it were, being dropped right into their consciousness. Well, that's source. That's infinite intelligence. That is the angels, the messengers. That is what angel means. They're messengers of source, the light messengers of God. But it is only through the power of Almighty God that we will overcome. It is only through the power of your connection with source. This has nothing to do with organized religion, please, but everything to do with what it says in Romans chapter 8, verse 31. If God be for us, then who can be against us? When you have your house in order, when you have raised your vibration to the temple of your mind and connection to infinite intelligence, there is nothing who can stand against you or us. So, right now, though, the majority of people are not in that temple. And it's almost, right now, I want to say we deserve what is heading our way, for we are weak men who refuse to do things even the Bible instructs us to do. We are refusing to stand and fight evil. Our churches have failed us and enable evil. They enable the evil that we are facing. It is sad to see a church displaying the actions that it has displayed, but our churches have been corrupted by the government, by the cabal. And they, from day one, organized religion. I think it's perfectly well known, my thoughts on organized religion. It's an enslavement program. They're simply, they have been, where they were set up by the negative Anunnaki from day one to be enslavement programs. So it is a very narrow path that I walk here and that I try to present as a narrative with spirituality and religion. So please understand, God can be a trigger word for some people. It triggers trauma, a history of memories of trauma and abuse by those agents of organized religion, which is just one of the resistors, the transistors, that one of the circuit blocks of the control matrix. So anyway, it is vitally important, though, to seek your connection to source and realize that when you are connected to infinite intelligence, that you have reclaimed your self-autonomy, you've re-empowered yourself, and you begin to understand that our government is in direct violation of God's laws and commands. And yet, your local pastors and churches bend the knee instead of fighting against the evil that has been promulgated by our governments of the world. I do believe the light has won. I do believe that our thoughts are reality. I do believe that the narrow path, the middle path, as Christ taught, is essential. I do believe that. And I try to walk the middle neutral path with reining back in my vitriol and condemnation of the way things have been. But simply, it is time to display the symbol of source-connected light consciousness. And I'm going to co-opt the symbol from Raised by Wolves of the Mithraics, which I don't know if they know this or if you know this, but that was actually the religion of the Roman legions at that time. And Christianity basically was by and large modeled in some aspects with Mithraism, which in turn was based upon Zoroastrianism. But all these are religions of light. Okay, and I don't want to get too much, but light. When light has been the key to everything. When Niels Bohr and Max Planck, quantum mechanics, quantum physicists, based upon Einstein's discovery, Einstein gave a famous lecture at that German telescope observatory where he identified light as quanta, and that's why it behaved in the way that it did. Light was initially understood as a wave, and that is how they would see like the light, the shadows, but it didn't hold up when in the physics department when they were experimenting with light and electricity and energy and electrons, red frequency, infrared frequency light, and ultraviolet light, and it was driving them crazy until they began to understand light. And when they finally understood light, and Max Planck identified the Planck measurement, the Planck quotient of light, and the experiments between wave particles of light, how light behaved as a wave versus a particle, and the Heisenberg uncertainty experiment, and the mere observation of light. Well, that is where all the mystery began to come about. And we began, along with reverse engineering of alien technology, but when we began to understand the true nature of light, well, that's where we have much of our technology that we're using today was just basically understanding light. But that is how important light is. And the light of your consciousness is vitally important. Namaste. Namaskaram.